Welcome back. From the late 70s through the 1990s, a massive wave of nearly 800,000 Vietnamese refugees fled their war-torn country of Vietnam. Many eventually came to Southern California to start a new life, building their own thriving community. Today, many Vietnamese settled in Orange County in an area now known as Little Saigon. Our host, Wendell Pialet, visits the Southeast Asian Archive Center at the UC Irvine to talk to Dr. Thuy Vo Dang about her amazing work in preserving the migration story of the Vietnamese boat people, as they were once called.
It was late April 1975. Saigon was teetering. Almost overnight, refugee camps had sprung up across the U.S. to shelter an exodus of 100,000 plus Vietnamese. Enlisted crews rushed around Camp Pendleton, setting up hundreds of tents and thousands of cots, stocking pantries. By April 30th, Saigon had fallen. They had lost not just a war, but a country. I'm here at beautiful UC Irvine in Orange County, home of the largest Vietnamese American population in America. I'm going to be given a tour by Dr. Thuy Vo Dang. She's an archivist for the Southeast Asian Archives here at UC Irvine. She's a professor, author, and she's incredibly passionate and knowledgeable about Little Saigon and the Vietnamese culture.
Hey Wendell, welcome.
Thank you for having us here.
Welcome to UCI. I'm so glad that you're here. I know we're talking about Little Saigon, and so viewers are probably wondering why we're at UC Irvine. And so I want to introduce you to the Orange County and Southeast Asian Archive Center, which the Southeast Asian Archive has been around for nearly 30 years to document the history of the Vietnamese American and Cambodian, Laotian, and Hmong communities. And so, as you already mentioned, we have the largest Vietnamese community anywhere outside of Vietnam, right here in Orange County. And so, do you want to come out and check out our OC&C Center?
Yeah, let's take a look. So Dr. Thuy, were you born in Vietnam? Are you first generation Vietnamese?
I was actually born in Vietnam, but I came to the U.S. when I was 5 with my family, and we were boat people refugees.
Tell us, when did Little Saigon get formed and how did it come about?
You can trace it back to 1975, which is when we saw the fall of Saigon, April 30th, 1975. And that was the first large exodus of Vietnamese outside of their homeland. So Little Saigon in Orange County was officially recognized in 1988. And then Governor George Deukmejian came down to do the ribbon cutting and acknowledge the freeway signs that were placed at the 22 and the 405 freeways.
Why is spreading the Vietnamese culture so important for you personally?
Well, for me, this is my history. Right? This is my family's history. And I came to this position as archivist for the Southeast Asian Archive because I knew that this would be the right space and I would have the tools and the resources to be able to preserve a really important part of my community's history. But more than that, it's also American history that we're talking about. I mean, the Vietnam War touched so many lives. It wasn't just my family's lives or Vietnamese lives, but American lives were impacted as well. So what we try to do here is we make sure that we build extensive records documenting the experiences of people who were impacted by that war and who have rebuilt their lives here in America.
So Thuy, tell us a little bit more about this historical scrapbook you have here.
So we have actually 6 of these amazing scrapbooks we recently acquired from a gentleman from Australia named Talbot Bashel, who was the controller of a refugee camp in Hong Kong. So between 1979 and 1982, he served in this refugee camp. And his wife, Cynthia, collected amazing photographs and news clippings and correspondences, a ton of things, and she put these scrapbooks together. So just a few months ago, we were able to connect with him through the introduction of Karina Huang, who's a researcher in Australia. And they brought the scrapbooks to us from Australia to be permanently archived here in UCI libraries. So I wanted to just show you some of the amazing images from there. And it really captures, the plight of boat people refugees, what the conditions were like, and those experiences are forever part of our history. And I'm so lucky to be able to be a steward of materials like this.
Thuy, you're incredibly passionate about your culture and lifestyle and history, and you're also an author, and I heard you wrote a book. Tell us more about that.
So I am the co-author of a book called The Vietnamese in Orange County with my co-authors Professor Linda Vo, who's faculty here at UCI, and Tram Le, who's Associate Director of the Vietnamese American Oral History Project.
Now Thuy, where can people find more information about this and what resources can they turn to?
Well, you can definitely come visit us on the UCI campus. We're at part of UC Irvine Libraries. We're open Monday through Friday, 1 to 5 p.m. to researchers and the general public. And of course, you can visit our website through the UCI Libraries homepage.
Thank you so much for having us today.
Thank you so much for allowing me to share a little bit of this history with the viewers of Asian Voices.